There's all this stuff on Amazon I might want for an iPod. Let me show you another one that's really cool. Business Week is just releasing this, I think, today. But this gives me up-to-date Business Week stories right here. And so I can look and take a look at Apple if I want to. And there's all the stories about Apple today. And I can flip it around in the back and look at top news or technology or whatever I want to do. It's pretty cool. So there we go. Let's go on to CNN has got a similar thing. It's not as nice looking as Business Week's, but does the job. And there's all the latest CNN stories. Here's a cool one if you haven't seen it, called Countdown Calendar. So you bring up this countdown calendar, and you go in the back, and you fill in the dates that you want to count down to. So I'm going to say 12/31/2006. I'm going to put in Longhorn. And that's the days until Longhorn. Just counts them down. Here's a good package tracker for UPS, DHL, or FedEx. And I was tracking a package earlier, so I can just go track a package here. And there's my FedEx package. Here's a fun one, Rabbit Radio. This finds your local NPR station. Isn't that great? And you can just listen to it. And you can even listen to it when dashboard's off. It's great.
But he gave in if Hamilton would recognize.
Nothing as great as NPR. Let me go find another one here. Let's see. Here's a fun one for sports enthusiasts, which is baseball scores, just sitting there scrolling. TV tracker, I'm sure you've seen. Goes and finds all the TV shows that you might want. This is a favorite of mine, Wikipedia. For those of you that don't know, this is an open source encyclopedia where everybody contributes to it. It has now become one of the most robust and certainly accurate encyclopedias in the world because you've got experts from all over the world contributing to it. And we just look up tiger here, and you can get the lowdown on all kinds of tigers. So that's Wikipedia, which is great. And lastly, I just wanted to show you Yahoo just released an updated one on their traffic. And I can put San Francisco, California here. There is the traffic updates for San Francisco. So these are just a few of the over 400 dashboard widgets that are available now on Tiger that you can go get. And we just released a new site on the OS X tab of apple.com, which makes it much easier to find these things. So go check them out. They're pretty amazing. So OS X Tiger. Now, what percent does this represent of all Mac OS users? These 2 million copies that we've delivered so far. They represent already 16% of the entire Mac OS X user base. Panther is about half, about a quarter is Jaguar, and about 10% are the laggards on early versions of 10. And after 6 weeks, this is phenomenal. Now, where do we expect to be when we meet again here next year? This time next year, we expect that Tiger is going to be half of the OS X user base. So we're really thrilled about that. And if we take a look at what we've done over the last 5 years, we've released 5 major versions of OS X over the last 5 years. In that time frame, of course, Microsoft released XP. And looking forward, what do we see? Well, the next release, I'm very pleased to announce that the next release of OS X is going to be called Leopard. And we're not going to be focusing on it at this conference today, but we certainly will in the future. And we intend to release Leopard at the end of 2006 or early 2007, right around the time when Microsoft is expected to release Longhorn. So that's what the future looks like, and we look forward to telling you about Leopard. So that's what's up for Mac OS X Tiger. Now, let's go to a big topic. Transitions. Let's talk about transitions. The Mac in its history has had 2 major transitions so far, right? The first one, 68K to PowerPC. And that transition happened about 10 years ago in the mid-90s. I wasn't here then, but the team then did a great job from everything I hear. And the PowerPC The PowerPC set Apple up for the next decade. It was a good move. The second major transition, though, has been even bigger. And that's the transition from OS 9 to OS 10 that we just finished a few years ago, in the early part of this decade. This was a brain transplant. And even though these operating systems vary in name only by one, they are worlds apart in their technology. OS 10 is the most advanced operating system on the planet, and it has set Apple up for the next 20 years. Today, it's time to begin a third transition. We want to constantly be making the best computers for you and the rest of our users. And so it's time for a third transition, and yes, it's true. We are going to begin the transition from the PowerPC to Intel processors, and we are going to begin it for you now and for our customers next year. Now, why are we going to do this? Right? Didn't we just get through going from OS 9 to OS 10? Isn't the business great right now? Why do we want another transition? Because we want to be making the best computers for our customer looking forward. Now, I stood up here 2 years ago in front of you, and I promised you this. And we haven't been able to deliver that to you yet. I think a lot of you would like a G5 in your PowerBook, and we haven't been able to deliver that to you yet. But these aren't even the most important reasons. The most important reasons are that as we look ahead, though we have great products right now, and we've got some great PowerPC products still yet to come, as we look ahead, we can envision some amazing products we want to build for you. And we don't know how to build them with the future PowerPC roadmap. And that's why we're going to do this. When we look at Intel, they've got great performance, yes. But they've got something else that's very important to us. Just as important as performance is power consumption. And the way we look at it is performance per watt. For 1 watt of power, how much performance do you get? And when we look at the future roadmaps projected out mid-2006 and beyond, what we see is the PowerPC gives us sort of 15 units of performance per watt. But the Intel roadmap in the future gives us 70. And so this tells us what we have to do. Now, this is not going to be a transition that happens overnight. It's going to happen over a period of a few years. Again, we've got great products right now, and we've got some great PowerPC products in the pipeline yet to be introduced. But starting next year, we will begin introducing Macs with Intel processors in them, and over time, this transition will occur. So when we meet here again, this time next year, our plan is to be shipping Macs with Intel processors by then. And when we meet here again 2 years from now, our plan is that the transition will be mostly complete. And we think it will be complete by the end of 2007. So this is a 2-year transition. So, first transition, 68K,